Happy Wednesday and welcome to another episode of Herspiration Happy Hour Season 6. Ladies, are you ready for some cocktail and conversation?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get it started. Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? Are you ready for cocktails and conversations? With your host, the unapologetic diva, Dr. G, the girlfriend therapist, Dr. Cortina Lewis, the Blue Phoenix Heels, Louisa Harrell, and the networking extraordinaire, Diana Richardson Philippus. Are you ready for cocktails and conversation? This is Herspiration Happy Hour. Woo! Happy Wednesday, ladies. This is your unapologetic diva, Dr. G.
This is your networking extraordinaire, Diana Richardson Philippus.
And this is the Blue Phoenix, aka Louisa Harrell. Hello.
Hello. What are we sipping on today?
Today we are sipping on a peach bourbon smash.
Oh.
This you need half a fresh peach, 3 to 5 fresh basil leaves, a half ounce of simple syrup, half an ounce of lemon juice, 2 ounces of bourbon whiskey, and fresh peach slices and or basil for garnish. So you add the chopped peach, basil leaves, simple syrup, and lemon juice to an empty cocktail shaker. You muddle everything. And then you add the bourbon, whiskey, and ice cubes. Shake until chilled. Strain through a fine mesh strainer into a cocktail glass filled with ice. If you want the pulp, you can skip the strainer. And then you just garnish with the peach slice and a fresh basil leaf.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a pulp person. All right, Diana, are you a pulp? I see me too. I'm like I don't like
Not really.
I don't know what it is about I can eat an orange, but I can't like have pulp in my drinks. I'm weird like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I do have my Simply lemonade with a little bit of pulp. I can do it sometime, but I'm not big on it.
Yeah,
It's
That's what I was going to say.
unnecessary.
It depends. I can do it sometimes.
okay. Yeah, but no, not at all in my mimosas. I'm like, I don't. No, thank you. I'm gonna pass on that. Well, our girl Cortina Lewis or Dr. Lewis will be joining us a little bit later in the show. But so we're gonna get this podcast started. Look here, it's been a rough couple of days. Because when I say I have been burning up the highway, I'm still in a car, but this time I'm not driving, but I have literally been driving like a mad woman. I think in my previous life, I must have been like a trucker or something because
because you were always on that road.
Yeah, you are.
but like this was just insanity because like in 3 days, yes, like 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, I've literally been on the road. I've literally been on the road. I drove from Maryland to Huntsville on Monday, and then yesterday I drove round trip to Memphis, and now I'm on my way to Macon.
Child.
Diana, you just lost your mind.
Yeah, me and road trips, I'm not big on road trips. I mean, I'll do them if necessary, but I'm a hop on a flight type of chick. Put me on a plane. I get antsy. My nerves get bad. I can't sit still. I got to pee every hour on the hour. Like, I can't do it.
Even if you don't drink, you still have to pee every hour?
I'll be drinking stuff because, first of all, my husband be getting upset because he be like, Diana, you got to go to the bathroom all the time. I'll be like, well, I got to do something sitting in this chair. Like, listening to music, okay, that's good. I can do a little bit of work. That's fine for a little bit. But I need to get up, walk around. Like, I can't just be in the car looking. And then he don't like no windows being cracked, child. I'll be in there feeling claustrophobic.
Oh my gosh.
I'll be ready to get out. Let me out.
Nope, I'm good. The only time I stop is if I'm breathing through
through what do you call it, a rest stop to go to the restroom, and I try not to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a road trip girl too. I've learned because I grew up taking road trips from up here to down south, and it was always kids in the car, so I had to learn to drain that bladder before we left because we wasn't stopping for a few hours.
Oh yeah, I remember those talks. Like, go to the bathroom before we leave because we're not stopping. And then as soon as 30 minutes on the road, we're like, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah, everybody they pull it
Exactly.
up.
I gotta go. I gotta go to the bathroom now. I'm hungry. That's my favorite. I'm hungry.
Oh no!
You'd be
Let me
like,
tell you
Diana,
what we
what
used to do.
do you want to eat, Diana? I was like, I don't know, but the way my stomach's set up, I need a snack or three.
No, we used to have the trunk. They would have the coolers in there with the juices,
Yeah.
the coolers with the thing with the fried chicken and the potato salad or the bread or whatever. You had your
Come
snacks
on.
in there. They did not play them games. We wasn't buying nothing, and we wasn't stopping.
Lunch meat. You had lunch meat.
Yep.
You had bread. You had
Sandwiches,
yeah,
fruit,
like
whatever.
that.
They would not play them games.
It
And
was
they
like
might
that
even
with
not
my
even go
aunt.
to a rest stop. They might pull over to the side of the road, open the door, and hand you some napkins.
Oh.
That part.
They did not play
That
them
part.
games.
That part when you really have to go. That I think especially when you're a kid, because otherwise you're stopping quite a bit. So I don't know. Oh, but you know what? Let's get to talking about this conversation, because and oddly, Diana and I, we always have these kind of dialogues of not directly, but just in general around friends who, just friendships that don't serve you well, or it's friendships that are, on the surface they seem okay and they seem great, but it's masked in toxicity. So, and I know we had talked about, like, even having relationship, your network being toxic, and or not even being toxic, but having enemies, having your enemies, your foes, your friends, and all of that. But this is a little bit different because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's time we start evaluating our circles. And I'm talking our intimate circles. And I think me and Jay was having this conversation because when he's like, what are y'all going to talk about today? And so me and him was talking about this conversation too. And one of the things that I was telling him about, and it's a good scenario of an ugly truth about toxic friendships, is the whole recent thing with Chris Brown and Usher.
I heard about that today. I had no idea. My business meeting this evening, she was talking. I was like, Usher got beat up.
That's what they're claiming, but they said the next day he performed, it didn't seem like anything was wrong with him. And then
he had just a little bloody nose. I guess he got roughed up, tossed around a little bit, but they ain't break nothing.
It didn't show anything according to the pictures. Was nothing wrong with him.
Yeah. So I don't know, but when we look at that dynamic, because he threw Chris Brown this party, and from what, there's a lot of speculation around it, because they're saying that it wasn't Chris Brown directly, but it was his entourage, so to speak. But even then, sometimes are you not the company you keep? When if that's just like, I'm throwing Diana a party, and then she brings in friends, and I've spent this money and I've done all of these great things, and then she's with her friends and then they jump me. It's like,
yeah, but I'm responsible for that, because I would be the one to be like, yo, what y'all doing?
Exactly.
What are y'all doing? Like, cut it out.
But what happens if you don't? What happens if you defend your entourage of people?
Well, then they're not friends. Because what does Usher supposed to do?
I don't actually. They said it started with Tiana Taylor. Is that her surname? Isn't it?
Ain't she married?
Yeah, she was at the party.
Yeah, she was at the state party.
Her and Chris Brown got some drama.
I don't know.
No, she was sitting down. It was supposed to be skating or something. She was sitting down, and I guess her and Chris had words. From my understanding, they had words. I don't know. And then Usher came over there, I guess, trying to get Chris to go somewhere else. But I'm not exactly sure the whole story. But that's from what I read.
Why is Chris having words with a woman? Never mind. I'm gonna be quiet.
No, I don't know.
That's what how I guess what they were trying to say, but in the video, you didn't hear him say anything to her, but that's what the story is.
So it's probably some made up drama, some hype. That's what I mean. At least that's what it sounded like now. It's all kind of different stories on that stuff, and that by itself is a problem.
Well, I hope Usher knows that, he should steer clear of Chris and his entourage.
Well, they was all cool on Sunday.
Didn't the fight happen on Sunday?
Saturday.
So the fight happened Saturday and they buddy on Sunday.
That's what I'm saying. Who knows what's going
at
on?
the Lovers and Friends concert on Sunday.
Well, maybe it's not what we think it is.
I mean, I don't know. I guess for all the stuff that's coming out in the blogs, it's a lot of speculation. But I think for me, it's just like I'd have to evaluate if that's the kind of energy that I would want around me.
That part.
Because, that, I don't know. I feel like when you start inviting that kind of drama and whatnot into your life, then you open a door for other negative energy and other things to come in. I mean, I don't know what are your thoughts on that.
I'm big on energy. If it don't feel right, then I'm gone.
Yeah.
I'm gone. If it don't feel right, I ain't got time. We could be mid conversation. So, you know what? Let me call you back. Let me call you right back, because you got to protect that space. And, we can be, like I say all the time, we can be negative all on our own with no help.
Yes.
Like, seriously. And, I know I work hard to protect my peace. And I work extremely hard to cast the devil down and cast him out, because, honey, he is alive and real. And he be trying it sometimes. He be trying to work through people. I even tell my husband sometimes, don't let him use you. Don't let him use you now. Don't let him, because the devil will. Don't let him use you.
But that's classic, though. They always say, the devil's going to try to use people who are closest to you. So
absolutely.
I would say, what would you consider a classic example that is an ugly truth about a toxic friendship? How do you know when a relationship is toxic, or when it crosses over to being toxic? Because I feel like, and I was sharing this with Jay earlier, I said I feel like all relationships will have some level of problems. If you because you're two different people, you don't always agree, and you shouldn't. But as the evolution of any relationship grows, there are going to be some rough patches, and that's why some people grow apart, even if it's not toxic. Some people just grow apart, but then sometimes people have a hard time letting go. So how do you know when it starts crossing over from something that's normal, that feels normal, to something that's being toxic for you all, and in your opinions, whichever one want to go first?
I personally feel like, and I hope I'm going to answer this correctly, but at least for me, I'm different today than I was in my 20s, than I was in my 30s, and even, my early 40s. I'm continuously evolving as a person. And over this time, we have friendships, we have some lifelong friends, we have some friends that we've met along the way. But when you're evolving as a person, right, and you're progressing, and you're doing the things and taking the steps and tools necessary to continue to build yourself in a good and positive way, in a positive light, like you're working on yourself, and you have a friend that, let's just say, doesn't like the new version of you, right? Because let's just keep it real. I mean, we've all been toxic. I mean, I know I have. I have. I've been toxic before. I've been unhappy and not even realizing that I was toxic, because you never really realize it at first. But, I was. And when you start working on yourself and you're moving, your trajectory is going another way, but your friend who was down with the toxic, you know what I'm saying? That's your toxic friend. They want the toxic you. And you're trying to progress, and you're trying to even enlighten this friend, but they don't want it, right? So, and then everything is negative. You say something positive, they're still negative. To me, that's a toxic friendship that no longer serves me. It no longer serves me. I can't stay in a place with you because you don't want to grow. That's a personal choice.
Yeah.
Love you. Got to go. Holler at me when you come up here. When you want to come up here, yeah. When you want to come up here, let me know. I'll be here waiting on you. But I'm not going to dumb myself down or stoop to a level that I no longer desire to be on anymore. When you evolve, and it's an everyday process because I mean, toxic thoughts come. They come. They come. They come.
Yeah, every now and then, it's like every now and then the inner bitch has to stretch her legs. Like, okay, you can ready to see the old me come back, and I try to keep her buried. It's like I always got that foot. If you want to give you some act right.
I tell people real quick, don't tap in. Don't tap into it. Don't tap it. Leave it alone. Leave her alone.
No, look, what it is you're healing. You're not healed.
Period.
So that ing means continuous. So it's still some possibilities to go back.
Quickly.
Oh no, I'm healed, but I'm gonna get gangster real quick because that's gonna always be a part of me. I'm not gonna just come in and I don't consider it me being toxic because when I was toxic, I was in a very different place. So for me, if I have to step out of character for a minute, it's not because I'm going to that toxic place, but it's just going to that place where, you know what, I've grown up not to be so quick to get angry or so quick to allow you to disturb my peace. So if I have to step out of that zone, that peace zone, it ain't gonna be pretty.
It's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a
complete problem. It's a problem.
Because I feel like as I've grown, I've been able to assertively state how I feel, state my emotions in the best way that I try my best not to be offensive, but I have to protect me at the end of the day. So if I don't speak up for me, no one else will speak up for me. So I have to speak up for me because first of all, no one can speak up for me if I don't share how I feel.
Right.
If I'm not telling someone I feel disrespected. And so instead of waiting to be disrespected over and over and over and over again, and then I get mad and that shows that passive aggressive, I'm gonna nip it in the bud right then and there and just say, look, I'm grown. We're not gonna go there. But if you just come off outrightly disrespectful, that's what you're gonna get, because you get what you give. For real.
But let me tell you something. I mean, if it's like that, then I believe in the spirit of cut off. You got to get cut off. Because, sometimes I try very hard not to match energies, right? Because it's, y'all, this is Thunder. This is my new baby.
Oh.
Thunder, say my name is Thunder. Okay.
Oh.
So I try really hard. I'm not saying I'm always successful, because I'm not, but I work really hard not to match energy. I don't want to match your energy. If your energy is jacked up and I see that this is a pattern, then the best that I can do for you is leave you the hell alone. You and your energy over there. And I'm going to keep going this way.
But you made a lot of good points. Oh, go ahead, Pam.
It's the consistent. It is the pattern that, because sometimes if that person don't realize that they are the toxic friend, and you don't step up to to protect your own energy. Oh, there she go. And you don't step up to protect your own energy, then you can't necessarily fault them if they carry on that same behavior, because they never thought to look at themselves, so to speak. But if you are a friend, as that friend, you should be able to check that person and say, look, you might want to get yourself right, and I'm gonna put some distance and space in between here and two, because that I'm not going to allow.
First of all,
And
before
so
we continue the camera pin looking like a daggone
See, but
model.
he
You
don't
better
wanna
get
be
on here
here.
showing off, girl. Look at her.
I'm like, what? I'm like,
I
you know
know.
what?
I'm like, you got it all out today, don't
I'm
you,
like,
T?
I mean, look at her. She is so gorgeous. She got on here like, what y'all talking about
I
today?
know
Girl,
she,
I'm
I know she
clutching
get on here.
my girls. I'm
I'm like,
clutching my girls, man.
look here, I'm like, you know what? I'm over here, and I'm traveling. I'm in the car too, and yet I'm not. I should have glammed up if I knew she was gonna get on here looking like this.
She ain't come to play today.
What's
She didn't
up,
come to
Dr.
play.
Lewis? Look, what's up, Dr. Lewis? Where are you going to or coming from?
I am trying to hurry up and get home. I've been battling the flu. But so yeah, I have a something to share with you ladies later. That's why I'm dressed the way that I'm dressed. But yeah, so I'm
So
excited about
that
it.
sounds good. Oh, and you can't. Oh, so you can't share with the crowd.
No,
You can't.
not yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I
Girl, put that in the chat, because I can't take
Okay,
it.
look, you so silly.
know, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what? You know, she should. No, first of all, she don't come up in here glowing. So I mean, we already know. I mean, I know she ain't pregnant, so we know that.
No.
No, not that type of glow.
Glowing
It's
with
not
the
that type of
flu.
glow.
So I know it's good. She glowing with the flu. Okay.
Right? I
No.
know. Well, we sure hope you feel better, because good gosh, but you look good. You look good
Thank you.
for a chica with
Good with
the
the
flu.
with the T at the end. She look good, y'all. She look good.
Yeah.
Right.
That part. But when we can jump back on topic really quick. So, Louisa, for you, how do you know when you've moved beyond a regular friendship to a toxic one?
A lot of what Diana said resonates with me, as well as I realized that, like she said, in the 20s and 30s, you kind of, I'll say in your 20s and in your 30s, you're kind of more patient with things with your friends. You don't want to hurt their feelings, or you don't want to feel like you're the oddball when you start to notice different changes in your friends. But as you get closer to 40 and maybe in your 40s, you realize you don't have time for the BS. So, and I'm going to say not only friends, but family. I've had to realize that, like with the negative conversations, or every time you turn around, there's something with this person. You can't come to them and have a conversation with them, because they always want to turn it around on themselves. It's never, hey, how are you? It's always, hey, girl, let me tell you. It's always them trying to pour not positive things. And not saying everybody has to be positive all the time. Sometimes you do need that ear.
Yeah.
But if you're always the ear, that's a problem. If you're always, if all you hear is negative all the time, that becomes a burden, so sometimes you have to remove yourself from that. When your friend always, and it could be you could be the one who always need or always pull from the other person, so sometimes you're the like you guys said, sometimes you're the toxic friend, but I think those, which is not every sign, but those are good signs or examples as to what a toxic person could do or be, and how sometimes you have to just cut them off. And if you tell your friend, now I say this, sometimes they don't realize that's what they're doing, or we don't realize that's what we're doing. So if you're told, or you tell this person what it is, and they continue to go down that road, then you have to cut them off, because they don't care.
Mm-hmm. No, I completely agree. I completely agree.
Let me say something.
I think for me, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just spilled my soda. I was trying to clean it up. I apologize for being here, there, and the third. But it was funny that you just said that, because Pam, I even think, I don't know, I may have had this conversation with Tara. So I have a friend who loves to talk about me getting pregnant. I have told this friend 20 million, trillion, zillion, gabillion times to stop talking to me about that. I'm not having any children, and that's that. If I do decide to adopt or do in vitro or whatever that is, let me bring that to you. Okay.
Yeah.
I get tired of, oh, I just have a friend. She just turned 46. She just got pregnant. I mean, this is like a reoccurring over the years. I mean, it is like non-stop. And for me, I'm okay with not having children. Don't get me wrong, ladies. Okay. However, as a woman who is now menopausal, that is still a bitter pill to swallow for me personally, right? So when she continuously, like over and over, it made me, I started feeling like, you have to understand what I'm saying because I've said it a plethora of times. So I feel like it's almost like poking. I don't want to assume because that's one of my 4 agreements. I'm not supposed to assume, but I can only explain how that makes me feel. So what I did with her, the last time she brought it up about a month ago, I said point blank, do not bring this topic up again to me. Period. Are we clear? Like the tone was off. Don't bring it up no more. I've said what I said. And I don't want to talk. I don't care who's 46, 50, or 60 that had a baby. I don't want to talk about that. Okay, I digress. That's all I wanted to say. I had to get that out.
No, but let me have you asked her why she's so adamant with you having a child? Like, why does that matter to her?
You have to think about it like this, Louisa. There are some people that feel like the natural progression of relationships include children. Not everybody aspires to be a parent or a mother. I don't care if you're 21 years old and got married. It's still disrespectful for people to kind of guilt you into feeling like you need to have a child. People don't know people's fertility struggles. They don't know what they've had to endure, what they've had to go through. So it's extremely insensitive when people assume that you should have had a baby, you should be having a baby,
she knows
have a baby, and not respecting people's boundaries as it relates to their reproductive health.
Yeah.
And that
she knows what's going on with me. Like she's a friend. Like,
but
20 plus.
That makes it worse. That makes it worse.
Exactly.
But you know what? But time doesn't also justify friendships. I think that's the other thing. Is like we always say, oh, well, we've been friends for 20 or 30 years. I think sometimes we need to drop some of our friends a level down to acquaintance, associates, or whatever else. You got to demote your friends sometimes.
Yeah,
that's true.
And I think just like Diana, you said earlier that you thought differently when you was in your 20s, when you was in your 30s. Now you're in your 40s. The trajectory and the evolution of your life has changed. You've evolved in a different way. So
absolutely.
So mentally, you're not there. And if someone else that's supposed to be a friend is not respecting your evolution, and they're still seeing you the same way, you have to demote them until they are ready to see you the same way you see you, so that they can respond to you.
I agree.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's essentially, I'm just saying, I think for us, and especially women, we have a hard time letting go. We refuse to give people the gift of goodbye who really deserve it and need it. So,
some are easier than others.
I mean, we hold on to, and I think that's overall, that's not just female friends. That's any intimate relationship that we have, whether it's toxic family members, toxic relationships in terms of boyfriend, girlfriend, spouses, even acquaintances. Sometimes we're just like, well, we've been friends for a long time. They might pop up every blue moon and just to share some news. But it doesn't make them less toxic if what the news they're delivering is only because they need to vent or talk about someone else. Yeah. So I think that's, we have to, if, and then I say that because, and on the opposite, I'm going to say this because it is, I think this is a great topic to have because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, that we have to protect our mental health. And sometimes protecting our mental health, what it actually looks like is decluttering some of the relationships that are stagnant, that are holding us back from being able to be our best selves, or just holding on to these toxic friends because we want to be there for them even when we don't know how to be there for ourselves. And so, and I do think it's important that you do have those relationships with people who need to vent, or because you venting does not make it toxic. I think there's a pattern that every single time you call me that, it's something negative.
Right.
So I mean, but I don't know, Cortina, how do you feel about that? Because I mean, I know suicide is you don't want that to happen, and so there's that extreme, but you also have to be able to protect yourself and be okay with that too. So where do you start to draw the line when you have those really toxic friendships, but you worry about that friend?
See, I can honestly say I don't have any of those in my life any longer, right?
Ooh.
I was in a position where I held on to people because if I'm down for you, I'm down for you, like all the way through and through, until I got to a place where I was challenging and battling with my own self because it was more exhausting to be this person's friend. And so once I started to say, you know what, this is stressful to me. I should not have anxiety as it relates to having this person as a friend. Something needs to shift and change. And so one of the things that I make sure that when I am hearing and listening to a friend, one, I'm in the emotional capacity and space to do it. If I am not, I communicate that. And there has been like very, very, probably maybe 2 occasions I could not necessarily hear my friend. I just told him I don't have any feedback. I'm okay to listen, but I am not okay to problem solve and solution find, because you can still vent to me. I'm not actively trying to help you fix it. So that takes less energy than trying to help problem solve and solution. And so you being honest with yourself about where you are emotionally so you can help that friend is important. But at the same time, if your friend doesn't want the help that you have been trying to give them, adults that have to adult. I can give you all the resources, but if you are not empowered and intentional enough to actually start to do something, I can work harder than you. It might be hard for you, but you're still working. If I'm the one that's doing everything, I'm not sure what else I can do, because if it fails, then I'm going to be feeling sad and upset about it because it didn't work, but the person didn't do anything to help it to work. So if I'm telling you, you meditate, you might need to pray, you might need to journal, you might need to go see a coach, you might need to go to therapy, you might need to go see a pastor, and you've done absolutely nothing but complaining about the same thing. Okay, at what point are you going to actually do some work to help you get out of the space where you are? Because it sounds like you like to be there because you haven't done anything yet. I'm not blaming your position. However, I'm giving you tools to help you navigate through this position, and you just ain't turning the key. I gave you the key. You just don't want to turn the ignition. There's a problem.
You don't say the whole mouthful with that statement.
Want you to drive the car, put the gas in it, wash it, keep it clean. What you do? I had to. Unfortunately, I had to cut my my sisters and them off, and one of my really close friends that I've known since I was 15, because it got to be too much. And just like what Tina said, they want you to talk to them. You give them, hey, won't you try this, try this? They don't want that. They want to keep talking. So I told them, I said, listen, don't call me. You need to text me, and then I can see what you want. If you can't text me, I can't help you. I had to tell my sister because we hadn't talked in a while, and she called me. I said, "Listen, you got 2 minutes, go." And it's like I had to do them like that because I'm like, y'all are stressing me out, and it's always been that way. But I let them do it, and so I had to put that boundary up. Hey, that's it. Don't call me with this nonsense. I don't want to hear it. If you calling about the same nonsense that we've been talking about for 15 years, I don't know. Bye. And it is like it is hard because we care about these people, but when are you gonna care enough about yourself to not be stressed out? Like continue to be stressed out, and it's their problem. They're not making the choice to get it together.
Yeah. I think I've only, thankfully, I've not had to. Well, I guess I don't really pay attention to it because I just leave people where they're at. I don't even explain anything, because sometimes I feel like if I stop reaching out and you stop reaching out, I just stop reaching out. I don't really worry about it. And then when I start going through my phone and I'm like, who haven't I talked to in like 2-3 years? I clean that out, and then randomly I might get this, hey, how are you? And I'm like, who is this? Because I mean, it is not a love loss. I just, my gift of goodbye just looks different. I don't give energy, and because I don't force energy to be there for anybody. Because that's energy.
You don't talk to somebody in a while doesn't mean that can't be your friend. I have people I
didn't say that, but I would, sometimes people just grow apart, and I follow people that I speak to all the time online. But if that's where our connection is going to be, it don't need to be in my phone. I don't need to be cluttering my phone up in my, taking up my my gigabytes or whatever these things are called. Unnecessarily. I mean, I keep over 40,000 photos in my phone, so I'd rather delete names than photos.
Well, it be the DMs for me. We friends. You got my phone number. We text each other. Now, we may not talk for a while. Now, all of a sudden, you in my DM talk about, oh, hey, girl, how you doing? Why the fuck are you in my DM? You got my whole phone number. What the fuck we doing?
Maybe
Sorry, that's how I talk, y'all. I don't like that. Get off my DM.
Maybe I'm in your DM to get the phone number back again because I
right.
My phone numbers got deleted.
Right.
So I got to slide in the DM, get the new number.
So you got to slide in the
other day. She was like, and I love this person, but I'm still annoyed. I texted you the other day. Did you get it? You ain't text me.
You ain't respond on a text message, so maybe you got me blocked.
She didn't text me. She did not text me, y'all. She did not text me.
Maybe she didn't have the right number.
She got my number. She got my number.
I can't. You so sure?
I'm positive. I'm gonna call her. But I don't like DMs like that. Like, I'll tell you about the one situation. I don't mind. She might even watch this. Let me stop. But it's like my DM come out. I ain't talked to this person like I don't know how long. No, I mean, I got love for the person because we were really cool, but we ain't like I invited her to my wedding. No response, no nothing. Oh, okay, I'm good on you. All right, that's where we at. Then all of a sudden you DMing me, talking about I want to talk to you. I'm trying to start a business. I can pay you for your time.
You don't get that money?
Oh, I did.
Oh, okay.
I did.
Diana.
Yeah,
I was thinking the same thing, Cortina. I was like, you ain't gonna get the business? Like what?
I mean, I took it, but in my heart, y'all. Like, we know each other. Now, we haven't talked in a lot, but it felt ingenuine for you to even come at me like that. It's me.
Not to me.
It's Diana.
Well, no, she came to you about business. She ain't had to hit you on the phone. She hit you the way she know how. She said,
Girl,
hey, I'm
she was talking
interested
about, she's starting to lip gloss, get me on the phone, talking about, oh, I'm trying to start a lip gloss brand, and I'm just wondering if you can, Oh, no. Let me tell you something. When I started my brand, I was making my shit by hand. Start there. Do some research. Put your grind, and you think I'm about to get... Let me shut up. We on. Never mind. We talk about this after the show. Because I get too turned up.
So let me ask you this. So if this person is a genuine friend and they want to start a lipstick brand, you wouldn't soften some of their blow of things that you had to endure to help them along?
Oh, that's exactly what I did. I told her, I'm not going to give you the end goal. I'm going to tell you how I started. When you have a passion to do something, if you really want to start a lip gloss line, then the first thing you should do is educate yourself. Like how I did. Education is key. Google is open all day long, 24 hours a goddamn day. Start Googling some stuff. When you want to talk to me about that, the question was, who is your manufacturer?
Oh.
Bitch. Oh, never mind. Turn my mic off. Turn my mic off.
Okay, you are on one today. Lord have mercy.
Y'all know I get passionate because that annoyed me. It felt like I felt disrespected by her. And this is somebody like a teenager. Like, I couldn't believe it. And then came to find out she had her other girlfriend purchase a lip gloss. Y'all, it's deep. We have to talk about this offline. This is too much for these other listeners to listen to.
So I go back to this. I go back to, just because you can go all the way back to first grade and kindergarten, it still doesn't validate that person still being a friend by at all. I have people I've known that are still like follow me on Facebook that I've known since third grade. They're just Facebook friends, acquaintances to me, and I wouldn't even call them acquaintances because outside of socializing on Facebook, which I don't consider real, I mean, like, I can't even front. Like, I don't mind people telling me happy birthday, and I try to be as responsive as possible, saying thank you. But it's rough when I'm out there trying to just tell people who I have no idea who they are. They don't really celebrate me because unless I post something random. But when I post business stuff, it's like, you don't really, you just bypass and scroll. But let my birthday come, oh, you wilding out. I'm having to respond back to, 4,500 people. So
you can do a general thank you.
I do sometimes, but I mean, if in the beginning, after I get past like realizing that I've hit 100 people, I'm just like, I just start doing thank yous to everyone. But I say that to say that the relationships that I have on Facebook does not really make you a friend. And so if you hit me in my DM and you're saying, hey, this is about business, then you can pay to talk to me. I don't care who you are. Because I mean, if you're my friend, you're not going to discount me anyway. You're not going to discredit me anyway. You're going to respect the fact that you've watched me grind. So why do you think you should, deserve a discount? You're not sitting here, I always equate that, if you're not asking, calling up Louis Vuitton and all of them, for a discount, you don't call me either. I don't care.
Listen.
Just saying.
I try to tell people all the time.
So ladies, let's talk about do you have like a friendship checklist? Like these things they really matter for you to have, especially now at this age, that you would say is on your checklist that's important in terms of your friendships that you should have to make your circle less toxic, especially you, Cortina, because you said you don't keep that energy. So no. Do you have that checklist to say, okay, at a minimum, you're going to have to check these boxes for me to know and be able to trust to let you in?
So like I have different levels of friends, and I would say all of my friends give me something different. So I don't have necessarily a category or a list of excuse me. Sorry. A list of boxes that they have to check. Mm-hmm. I go off of energy. Like I have one friend, since we were 7 years old. She was supposed to be at my wedding, but something came up. We can go months without speaking. Months. I'm the godparent of her twins. And we just always have that understanding, no matter what. I know that I can tell her anything. And the same when her husband was murdered, like being there for one another and everything, like it's a different level type of friendship. And then I have a friendship like Billion, who was the maid of honor in my wedding, and we talk almost every day, right? We moving on the opposite street from each other. So that friendship brings something differently. Do they outweigh one another? No, absolutely not. But the relationship is just a different dynamic. And then I have like Whitney, she's all the way in Atlanta, always busy doing something. I know the best time for me to get her is on her car ride from work, because once she gets home, it's all about grade papers and everything like that. So, and then with Pam, she's mostly always available. So I know if I need to call her, she's gonna be available unless she's on the red carpet or doing an interview with somebody. So like, when you know people, you don't get offended by their inability to always be available, because we are grown as women. We have lives, we have kids, we have jobs, we have husbands, we have mates, we have partners, we have other things going on. And when you are a person who also has something going on, you're not around here sitting around saying, this person ain't called me, they ain't called me back, because you too got stuff going on. So I do need my friends to have a life outside of our friendship, because I don't need you getting jealous over the other type of connections that I have with these other people, because there are friends that are very possessive. I don't need any type of, now playful possession, that's different, but real possession when you start taking like little slick jabs and all that other kind of stuff because I'm hanging out with other people, I got zero tolerance for stuff like that, because I love all of my friends and they all mean something differently to me. That's why I'm glad when I get all of them together, they can hang out, be cool, it don't matter, and that's just it. But I go a lot off of energy, what you bring to the friendship, because like I said, everybody brings something different, and I know that I bring something different to each of my friendships. There are some friends I know I have to be a little bit more emotionally available than other ones, right? Just because of the relationship that we have, and that's okay. But all of them know, if you need me, I'll be there. You might have to call me or text me about 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 times. However, when you get me, I would damn sure be there.
It's so funny because Diana and I today was talking really quick, and she was like, I'm gonna have to pin Cortina down at some point because she was needing to do something.
Right.
We were talking about some stuff, and I was like, girl, good luck with that. But I know that for you, Cortina, I know Mondays are normally days I can reach you.
That's the best day.
Yeah.
And don't even bother with Thursday. Don't even bother with Thursday. Good luck.
Thursday, out of here.
The worst
Thursday,
day. Yeah. So.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yes, tomorrow's Thursday.
That's a long day.
Yep. Always. So that Monday, I already know. I'm like, okay, cool. I'd be proud when she sleep in sometimes on a Monday, but
thank Jesus, that doesn't stop me.
That's a daggone shame. Louisa, what about you? Do you have like a friendship checklist of things that matter to you that you need, even if it's from various sources, that for you to feel comfortable to have that friendship?
The biggest thing for me is for people to just be honest. Even if you think it's going to hurt my feelings, that's the biggest thing for me, because I wouldn't want you around me if you feel like you can't say to me what you need to say to me. If I'm off, or you notice something that's just tell me, hey, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Tell me what is wrong with you. I'd rather hear from somebody who's my friend or somebody who's close to me than somebody on the street. I'm like, dang, y'all didn't know, there's nothing wrong with being corrected. There's nothing wrong with being honest. And I just really rather have that than somebody just, oh yeah, you good, girl, you good, you are, and just be able to have a sense of humor. Those are two big things for me. You got to be able to laugh, because I'm silly. And a lot of times I'll use humor to help pull people out of things that I can see. you can't always give an answer. You don't always know what's going on, but you know you can make people laugh, and that'll kind of help. So you have to have a sense of humor.
Yeah. What about you, Diana? Do you feel like there's something that you need from the relationships that you have?
Trust and loyalty. That's
Yeah.
really all I truly ask for and require from my friends, because I'm a true loyal friend when I'm a friend. I'm not a backbiting, backstabbing, shade throwing. I'm not. Like, that's not me, and I've
Yeah.
never understood women that act like that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a sensitive thug, y'all. Like, I don't be understanding that type of stuff.
She be having her bandana on and tears rolling down her eyes. I see. I see.
Like, all that throwing shit. Be like, hey, girl, I was just playing.
Like I always say, there's a hint of truth in every joke that's like a snide comment. There's always there's something underlying there. I think for me, on my main checklist, outside of like you say trust and loyalty, because it's important for me to be able to be open to you, but I also have my friends even for that. Like I have friends that I'm comfortable opening to about that, or opening up about that, so then that's important to me. But my number one item on my checklist is authenticity. I love my friends when they can truly be themselves, because how you show up in your authentic self will always let me know how you are. You're not presenting to be somebody that you're not. You're not putting on all of these fronts. You can just really truly show up. I mean, you
Yeah.
might pick and choose where you show up and how you show up then, because we're one way with our friends, and then we're one way at work. You know what I'm saying? But I think living authentically in your truth, that when it comes to me, it's like that I'm gonna always be that safe space, and I'm gonna always respect you because you respect me. So that's important for me, because if you can't really just be yourself, it makes me wonder who you really are, and that's something that I can't trust.
Child.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Never mind. I'm not going to say the name out loud, but we know some people that are like that. Like, who are
Yeah.
you?
You know
Yeah.
what,
Like,
Diana? You
No, for
who
real.
are
I
you
mean, and I don't consider those people friends, but
at all?
I'm around people who I'm like, I really know how you are. I think that's the facade about Facebook sometimes too. It's like people show up one way, but I'm always
Yep.
like, you do know
Yep.
that people actually know you. You
Yep.
know.
That's why I just scroll on past them posts sometimes. I'm like, you know what? I ain't saying a word. I ain't liking it. I'm gonna just go on past it. It just don't make sense.
Yeah.
People are nuts, and they have really allowed social media to make them into this fairy tale. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know the right words to use for it, but it's weird. Be you, people.
Yeah. I mean, I think, but
Be
I
you.
feel like as long as I can be myself, I don't have to be around someone where I feel like, because I refuse to dim my light, that I should have to. And there are people that you can go around in some circles, and it's like they look down on you because you're up, if that makes sense.
Girl,
And
I got a scenario. So last year I was coming back from this conference. Made a killing. I mean, this conference was so great, y'all. It was so impactful. Oh, I did so well. In the airport with the acquaintance, you ready to fly home. Out of the blue, she talking about, you a celebrity. I don't care what nobody say. What? I don't claim to be a celebrity.
why does she say that?
I don't know.
Well, I say that to Pam.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Maybe maybe it was.
I don't see nothing wrong with that. I'll be like, girl, I don't know
I'm like,
this
for real. No, you want my
Everybody know
autograph?
you.
I'm gonna give you the
She
first
was
autograph.
saying it to be shady.
Oh, because I was like, I
No, she
called
said
somebody
you a
up.
celebrity. It you are a celebrity. I don't care what nobody what they say. Who's they?
Oh,
Ho,
Okay. I
Dang.
got you. I
Well,
got you.
Wow.
that you,
Because I
yeah,
was
that,
like,
that's
I was like, you should have been like, well, let me give you the first autograph, boo. I mean,
Okay.
but I see what you're saying. I get it. Okay.
Girl, I don't be having time.
but that's the thing. You shouldn't have to dim your light. But then that's why they always say
I
you
don't.
can't talk you can't talk about everything with someone who's not on your level because they won't understand. But I also think that when you have life experiences, and you've done a lot, because I think that's one of the things for me. It's like I can talk about anything. If we're dialoguing and I have an experience, and some people get upset because I've had too many experiences. But I'm like, I'm not going to dim my light. And if if it sounds like
Uh-oh.
you might want to be the one to check yourself. I'm just saying, because what sounds like bragging to somebody is actually me who lived a fulfilled life, that have gone through a lot of shit to get to where I'm at. So I'm proud to be able to have accomplished what I have accomplished, experience the things that I've experienced. And if I can share those experiences, it's not saying, oh, you can do everything. Yeah, we know you've done it. Okay, then maybe you should do more. Because
Oh,
if I'm in a circle with 20 people, and I can relate and be a part of something, because anytime these 20 people say something and I can share my experience with these 20 people, it doesn't mean that, oh, you've done everything. No, it means like,
Right.
damn, be proud. Instead of criticizing and kind of throwing shade, try living your life, because that's one of the things that I've
Right.
done. And I would say, like, even I am so, with Cortina, I'm so super proud of her, because I've saw her in her vulnerable times, and I've seen people who, if anybody really ever followed her life and what she's had to go through to see where she's at now, if they're not proud of her, it's like, bitch, bye.
They got
You
a
might
whole
want to just,
problem. Yeah.
yeah.
hater. The hater. That's the
People don't
word.
see the
Hater.
work, yeah, because people don't see
Right.
the work and the pain and the struggle and all of those things that make people who they are. So sometimes you want to share the good experiences because you're healed from the old and the bullshit. It's like, you know what? I want to celebrate the good things that I do.
Right.
Yeah. So I
I
don't know.
agree.
I prefer to talk to people who can enlighten me, and me not feel like, oh damn, I didn't do this, or I have to feel some level of jealousy, or I have to feel, no, I'm going to be inspired, I'm going to be empowered.
That's
But
right.
then I also value, like, you, Diana, who be like, Pam, your ass all over the place, just, you need to tone it down some, take it back, because those times matter, because I can be, like, here and here. But
Yeah.
because she and I talk almost every day, and it's not always just about when we do a lot of business stuff, business conversations, power talks, just bouncing different things
Sometimes pep
off of each
talk.
other. Yeah, we need a pep talk
I
sometimes,
mean, pep talk.
a lot. But I think it's because we're at home all day alone. So we don't have coworkers that to just turn to and say, what do you think of this? What do you think about this? So we utilize each other for that. um, like, even outside of you ladies, I'll be chatting with Louisa. I'm like, hey, I need to get this to you. She'll make sure and get things back to me, or let me know the stuff that she needs. So those are things that I value, because I am not perfect, and as much as I'm doing, there are moments where I fall short, and I'm okay with that. Honestly, I'm okay with falling short, because I know that my energy is just focused elsewhere, but I also have learned to take care of me. So sometimes if I'm falling short, it's because I've chose to step back for myself, because I need to I had to learn to be so intentional about self-care, so that I'm not falling apart. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I was getting ready to
And
say,
I
do
feel
you
like
even consider that? Could you consider that falling short? I don't think
I
that's
don't
falling
consider that
short.
falling short. Yeah.
Yeah.
Come here,
I tell
Sissy.
myself that. I mean, I'd be proud of my falling short sometimes, because but that's something I embrace. I don't look at falling short. I don't, because I can't say failure. There's just times where I fall short on things that I want to do, but I'm responsible for those things. So I can openly say that I've fallen short on things that I wanted to achieve. Is it slowing me down any way, shape, or form? No. But do I have friends that's going to keep me uplifted? Absolutely. Absolutely. So, ladies,
That's
we're at the
it.
top of the hour, and I know we have some conversations. I don't know if Louisa has a lead, but I want to catch up because I got a text message that I need to hear about.
Nope, I'm here for everything today, y'all.
So, look, let's start with you, Louisa, since you don't have to go anywhere. Where, today, but where can people find you?
You can find me at the Blue Phoenix Hills everywhere, and I always say this, I do because I'm just so proud of y'all, and y'all inspire me and push me, even when you don't even realize that that's what you guys are doing. I'm always rooting for y'all. I be in the background like this, especially with. I stay doing it, but they every time I continue to come out this way, okay, doctor. I don't know why I want to say. But every time, even with Diane, like everything that's been going on, you guys are just always doing something, not in a bad way. You're not busy to be busy. You're doing, you're moving, you're shaking. You're changing the trajectory of things. So I'm just so proud of you guys, and it's just really really cool to be in this circle, just to know you all. It's just really really dope.
Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.
I appreciate that.
Diana, where can everybody find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Diana Richardson Philippus and at EWE_empowered women empower. I'm sorry, y'all. It's been a long day. And that'll follow you through to everything else.
All right. Dr. Lewis.
You can find me at the Girlfriend Therapist on all social media platforms. You can also find me at SEXD Unveiled on Instagram, and the Noir Center also on Instagram.
All righty, and you can follow me at I am Dr. P Girly on all platforms, as well as the Brown Girl Brown Boy series and BGBB Kids Red Carpet, which I have coming up this Saturday in Jackson, Mississippi. Hence me being in the vehicle between graduations and tours and all of that stuff. Is just a crazy week for me. Definitely check out our new TikTok page. We are Herspiration Happy Hour on TikTok. We're Herspiration Happy Hour on Facebook and Instagram, and Herspiration HH on Twitter. I almost forgot that. If you would like to be on the show, you can hit us up at herspirationhh.as.me to be on the show. It is, you don't even have to email us to ask. Just go ahead and fill it out and select your date or select your Wednesday for your feature. Ladies, it's been so great.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead. Okay.
The fundraiser.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I am, and I don't have the link for that, so I have to share that one next week. But I am doing a fundraiser, for literacy. But and I'll also I'm doing a secondary one because I'm also raising money for STEM. So I'll be posting both of those. Just follow me on my social media to catch up on all of the different exciting things that I have going on.
Awesome.
Yes, with that, we will see you next week, same time, same place. Have a great week and happy Mother's Day to all the moms.
Yes, happy Mother's Day, ladies. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes, happy Mother's Day. All righty, we are outie. Cheers.
Cheers.